Hi, my name is Corbett Whittingham, and I'm going to be reporting on Parenthood and Health, a statistical analysis of the effects of children on four wellness metrics. First of all, the research question and motivation. My hypothesis is, how does parenthood status relate to adult health outcomes, and how much of this relationship is explained by socioeconomic factors? My motivation was that I'm interested in the general effects of having children uh, on the health of parents. And based on my current understanding, my guess is that certain health outcomes like blood pressure and sleep will be highly dependent on situation, with newborns having deleterious effects on sleep quality. Other issues like cholesterol are highly genetic. So my guess would be that they wouldn't be as affected. Um, I also guess that socioeconomic factors play a significant role in the health outcomes of parents. So, as far as variables go for selecting patients, gender, number of pregnancies, number of babies, and age at first birth. And for health metrics, mean arterial pressure, or MAP, cholesterol, sleep, and self-reported health, and 1 through 5. It's kind of how I encoded that. And then confounding factors, education, income, marital status, race, and I later included age as well. So some highlights from the exploratory side of things. Um, the records are significant, but not necessarily complete. And I selected for the most complete records in the table, um, with the goal of ensuring accuracy of comparisons. There were considerations and changes that I did have to make to my sample based on limitations in the data. So one of those big things was men are not asked any questions about their parenthood status. I was really surprised and frustrated by that because um, that's an important uh, point of comparison. Um, so it was strictly that women who were asked in the study about their parenthood status. Um, so as a result, any and all conclusions that I gather from this data is going to be about women by default. So the first main thing was just to do sort of a scatter plot. Um, and there isn't really much of a uh, connection to between mean arterial pressure and number of children. Um, here's a box and whisker chart about it. And again, my sample for women who not had any kids was very small. So it's much more scrunched up. And then I have wider, more variation for the numbers of children. Um, but they're all basically along the same line there. Total cholesterol, interestingly, did seem a little bit like it was growing, but you know, um, uh, I get more into that in a little bit. Then uh, the number of hours of sleep per night versus number of kids, also basically the same. And general health had some variability. It seemed like the parents who listed had the worst health or the poorest health peaked around 3 to 4 kids. But I'll go more into how that turns out later. So yeah, again, mean arterial pressure uh, doesn't seem to show any correlation. Um, cholesterol, similar kind of questionable there. The amount of sleep is surprising to me. Um, I would guess the median number of hours per night of rest um, would have gotten worse if if you have a bunch of kids or like newborns. Um, so yeah, let's see. So my methodology, there were a few contributing factors that I included in my analysis. Age, education, income, race, and marital status. My independent variable is the N babies category, number of babies. My dependent variables are the health and wellness metrics that I described. Um, and I chose linear model for my analysis because I wanted to be able to include the confounding factors to more accurately um, assess the potential correlation. Um, so in order to use that function for each variable, I wound up adding a column that had conversions from general health, like the general health variable, to uh, from a string to a number. Um, and uh, the charts that were returned do show the significance and p-value for each confounding variable in each model. So these indicate whether the predictor was statistically significant and its magnitude. So some interesting findings. Um, in analyzing each of them, I found that there is significant evidence to reject, or there's insufficient evidence to reject the null hypothesis in sleep, cholesterol, and general health, with p-values of 0.14, 0.58, and 0.74, respectively. And those are all significantly above the 0.05 threshold. I did find statistically significant p-value for mean arterial pressure at 0.011. The coefficient for each of these is very small. Um, in the case of MAP, the difference in blood pressure is negative 0.53. Um, so that's typically a range that is within the fluctuation someone might experience during a day. Um, and so while the number of children uh, did not have much of an effect on these health metrics, there were some interesting statistically significant factors. So sleep increased with age, income, and marital status. Blood pressure decreased with the number of children, and as well as if the patient was widowed. Um, and it increased with age, which is normal and expected. And uh, cholesterol had a statistically significant p-value, but a very small positive coefficient with age and widow status. Um, so it also appears that there was a correlation between education and general health, with more education corresponding to better self-reporting general health. So my conclusion, the Parenthood shows no meaningful effect on these health and wellness metrics once confounding variables were accounted for, while age and socioeconomic factors do. Anyway, thank you very much.